Hello, guys, and welcome to another episode of the Phoenix Club. It's Monday, so we're on to Topical Teamsheets, and this week it's a special one in celebration of Chinese New Year. We've decided to go for the best Premiership 11 of Asian footballers. And we've got some really interesting players in mind for sure, and I'm sure you have as well, Josh. And the show's designed for us to chat and debate about our picks, and for you guys to give all your comments down below and let us know what you think. So we're going to start with the goalkeepers, and I was wondering who you went for, Josh.
Yeah, just before I give my goalkeeper, I just wanted to say, before we start getting hate from die-hard geographers, that what we've done with this is so there are some teams that are part of UEFA that aren't actually in Europe, and they're actually part of
Exactly.
Asia. So this isn't an Asian Football Confederation 11. This is an 11 of players that are actually from the continent of Asia, and that's also including players from Turkey, and also Tom's thrown in some Russian players there as well. So just wanted to put that disclaimer out. So yeah, in goal I have gone for the Omani legend that is Ali Al Habsi. Started off at Bolton as I think understudied to Yassi Yaskalainen. Moved over to Wigan, where he was on the subs bench as they won the FA Cup in 2013, unused sub. And to be to be fair, there weren't that many to choose from really. So I just put him almost by default really. It's a process of elimination. So yeah, Adi Al Habsi. Not an awful lot to say about that really.
I think you guys, on a side note, will find that there's a lot of similar picks because in some positions there's really not much choice. But in goal, we have got a debate on our hands because I've gone for the Chelsea legend, the great Russian Dmitry Karin, who was generally backup goalkeeper for the Blues in the 1990s, I believe 92 to 99 or something like that. And he made about 120 appearances for Chelsea. And won several honours, including the FA Cup, I believe the League Cup, Cup Winners' Cup, albeit probably from the bench in a lot of those games. But regardless, I just think his longevity and his ability as a really sound backup keeper gets him on this above Ali Al Habsi for me.
Okay, cool. So for right back then, I have gone for Tal Ben Haim, the
As
Israeli
have I.
player. Yes. So we played for a number of clubs, wasn't it? Bolton, Chelsea, City, Sunderland, QPR, Portsmouth, West Ham. So quite the journeyman really in the Premier League. And again, I wouldn't call him the Premier League's finest ever fullback or defender, but there isn't really much to choose from. This is a horrible team sheet, really. Look, he played in some decent squads and some not so decent squads. I guess to an extent, a little bit of a cult hero, depending on what team you support. So yeah, Tal Ben Hayoum.
I think, firstly, I've got written down about Tal that he's played for 7 Premiership clubs, which I think is a high. I think it must be one of the highest up there. It's probably a
Marcus
few
Spence up there, Nicholas Anelka's up there too.
Craig
Craig Bellamy
Bellamy.
probably, yeah.
Yeah, but also I think he was definitely in the squad the season Chelsea got to the Champions League final against Man
Yes.
United. He may well have been on the subs bench. I could be wrong,
He
but he
didn't
might.
play, I know that much.
I know I certainly didn't play, but he may well have been on the bench. So he's not a laughing stock, Tal Ben
He's a
Haim,
little bit.
albeit that we haven't his best position. But on to the centre backs, and we've both gone for the same picks again. But I'm going to pronounce the easier one, and I'll leave it to Jordan.
Okay.
So mine is Maya Yoshida, definitely a Southampton legend and cult hero. A solid centre-back who came through the Atkins years, through Pochettino, through Koeman, through Puel, through Pellegrino, and into the present day through Mark Hughes and obviously Ralph Hasenhüttl. I believe he must have played under each of those managers and been trusted. I think, was he captain? I think he might have been captain.
Stephen Davis was. I don't know if
It
he
might
ever
have been
was.
Davis.
I,
But
yeah.
he made the FIFA cover, I believe, Yoshida, in one of the regions. So I think he's definitely one of those Asian players who will be a cult hero. Let us know if we have any Japanese followers or anyone who particularly loves Yoshida in the comments. But I had to pick him because I think he's just such a good guy.
Yeah, I've got him in there as well. And alongside him is, and I might be meaning to try and get Tom to pronounce this one. Should we go for it at the same time? Three,
Okay, yeah,
two,
I looked at
one.
spelling.
Zurab
Marlo Kid.
Kizanishvili. Okay, you just bailed on me there. So yeah,
I get it.
the Blackburn centre back Zurab Kizanishvili. I hope I have pronounced that right after all that. Yeah, he was a mainstay of the Blackburn side for about 4 or 5 years, I think. I have to say my first memories of him are from the Murden sticker books, just seeing this incredible name stretching across the whole sticker. Um, yeah, I mean, again, I don't think that he's not going to go down, and this is perhaps going to be the case for many of these players in this team. He's not going to go down as an all-time great, but nevertheless was a good part of that Blackburn side for a number of years, and I think he did score the odd goal here and there too.
So our position at left back is the first ever Chinese player to play in the Premiership. And by the way, I forgot to mention at the start, Happy Chinese New Year to any of our
Yeah,
Chinese
year of
followers.
the pig.
And if anyone can guess who it is before I say it, you can pause the video now. But it was the Man City, and I don't think he's a legend, but he was a mainstay for a few seasons. Ji Hai Sun. Memories, Josh?
Yeah, I mean, not many. I'll be honest with you. Not many memories at all from him. I just, I think he was there for what, about 5, 6 years maybe. I don't think he
I
was.
think no, he was there for a while.
Yeah,
And he made the team. I seem to remember him a little bit under Kevin Keegan.
yeah. When they first came back into the PL in 2002, he was, I think, perhaps
Something.
more
Yeah,
part of that squad than as time went on under Stuart Pearce. I don't know if he was actually there under Ericsson eventually. But yeah, no,
no,
I'm not going to lie to you. My memories of him are rather remote. Um, yeah. What are your memories of Sun Ji Hai?
so I think I remember him a little bit in the, as I say, under the Keegan Pearce years. I think he was one of those sort of left backs. A lot of people thought he'd be the first of many Chinese players in the Premiership,
Because
but
Everton had La, was it Lee Tai? I don't know how you pronounce it, and another guy called Lee. I can't remember what his first name is now. Um, so yeah, there were a few Chinese players in around that time. Um, but he was hardly a trendsetter, was he? I mean, I'm not-
no.
in fairness, I don't think watching him play football is going to make all the Chinese people go, yeah, that's who I want to be when I grow up. Sun Ji Hai.
Yeah, I think possibly not. No, but anyway, on to the centre midfielders, and there's definitely some debate in this one. I've gone for Yossi Benayoun and the Chelsea Russian. I think this must have been a Roman signing. Alexei Smirtin came in 2003 and played for the Blues until 2005. I think in that title-winning year made 10 or 15 appearances, something like that. So was maybe a peripheral member, but definitely a solid member of the side, and definitely would have got a winner's medal. But do you have any different selections there, Josh?
Well, I think that Alexei Smerton could easily go into the worst 11 of all-time Premier League winners, but that's a debate for another matter. I've gone for a completely different centre midfield of Shinji Kagawa and Georgie Kinkladze. So Kagawa there for his couple of years at United, more for the first year really, where he was part of the title-winning side. He scored a hat-trick against Norwich. Perhaps sold unfairly by LVG when he came in 2014. I think he had a lot more to give, and he did really well when he went back to Dortmund. And quite a good member of that title-winning side. And then Georgie Kinkladze of Man City and I believe Derby in his latter stages of his career. Now, I can't off the top of my head remember who it was against, but I remember watching this insane goal from King Clancy with his remarkable footwork, and he puts it into the back of the net. I just cannot remember off the top of my head who that was against now, but
Check
certainly
out you.
certainly a play that produced moments of magic, and I know that he was only exiled from the Man City squad when Joe Royle took over because he needed to get the wage bill down. I don't think they could afford to keep him because
No,
obviously
they've got
The
top
City
division.
of the late 90s isn't what we know today, and they were ended up in the third tier. And so I think perhaps if he had stayed in there as they came back into the Premier League in 2000, then perhaps we would have seen even more magic from him. But he went to Derby, I think it was in '99, and didn't really do too much there. So yeah, Kinkladze there and Shinji Kagawa.
So on the right, we move to the right wing, and I've gone for another Premier League winner. You mentioned Alexei Smirtin. It's another Russian, and it's Kanchelskis. I forgot completely his first name's completely
Andre.
Andrei Kanchelskis. That's the one. And he was a regular member of that Ferguson sort of, I like to call it first generation
Yeah.
Ferguson Premier League winners, and then moved on to Everton and then across Manchester to Manchester City to Main Road, and was, well, Fergie rated him, and he was, I think he must have at least 4 to 5 Premiership, probably 3 or 4.
I think it might be three. Four, I think it'll only be three.
Three, yeah, 3 Premiership winners'
It might
medals.
even just be two.
First 2 years.
It's either two or three, yeah.
But still, an excellent record and probably the most decorated player on in this team. And do call me out if you're wrong,
Well, no,
guys.
I think
Feel
Sun Ji Hai might be up there. No?
No, I don't think so, mate. But guys, feel free to call me out on that if any of these guys have won more than him. And I just think he deserves to be in there. But who have you gone for, Josh?
So I have gone on the right for Jisung Park, who might actually be the most decorated player in this team sheet. I think he joined United in 2005. Might even be 2004. Was there until 2012. Won five, I think, Premier League medals. Won the Champions League. Won. I think the only thing he didn't win was the FA Cup actually. Won a couple of League Cups as well, two or three. And he was, I guess, the definition of cult hero when we talk about those sorts of players. And he would always perform against the top sides. I remember vividly Arsenal. He loved scoring against Arsenal.
Oh, he did. I
And
remember.
I remember at the first couple of years, he was a bit dodgy. And then the longer he was at United, he then came into his own, and he actually went on to be a very good player. And it was almost a shame that he left when he did, because I think he could have been part of that of Fergie's final title winning squad. But yeah, I've gone for Jason Park on the right.
So actually, I've gone for Jisung Park on the left, just so I could fit in the two Man United Premiership winning wingers. But who have you gone for on the left, Josh? Because I think obviously you have to have gone for someone different to me.
Well, I've gone for Yossi Benayoun, who you've put in the centre. So I don't think there's much more to say about Benayoun,
I mean,
really.
yeah, these aren't players who we could make videos. Let's for sure. I
No.
will give you a fact about Benayoun for nothing, guys. He's, as far as we know, the only player who's played for 3 of the clubs in the old-fashioned Big Four of Chelsea, Arsenal, Man United and Liverpool. Playing for Arsenal on loan from Chelsea and Liverpool before that. So that's a fun fact.
What about Anelka?
Oh, Anelka. That's true. Anelka's done it. But anyway, that's a fun fact for you guys. Nicholas Anelka and Yossi Benayoun, what do they have in common? Put that on Twitter and you'll probably get a load of retweets and likes. Top tip from me there. So we move over to the strikers, and we're both in agreement on this one.
Yeah.
And one might well be a better player than the other, but the less good one has won a Premier League. And the less good one is Shinji Okazaki,
Yeah.
another Japanese pick and another of my favourite Premiership players.
Really?
Yeah, he works so hard, man.
Okay. Well, yeah, he is in there. He was
Him-
certainly in the first, I think maybe the first half of the season that Leicester won the league, a really top part of that team. And I think he came in for Leonardo Ulloa because Ulloa was kind of the main striker alongside Vardy for the first part of the season. Then Okazaki took over. Um,
Pretty early, I
has
think.
since petered
November.
away a bit since that title win. Is he still at Leicester?
Still at Leicester.
Yeah,
Still at
still at
Leicester.
Leicester. Not doing an awful lot at the moment, and I think that's evidenced by the fact that I don't even know he's still there. Um, yeah, not much more to say about him really.
And who's the final player, Josh? I'll leave it to you for our
Oh, thank you
final
very
player
much.
in our 11.
Yeah, so Hyung Min Son. We spoke about him on yesterday's Unpopular Opinions. Again, I think probably alongside Jisung Park, it wouldn't be unfair to say that he's the second best player, or even the best player in this team sheet. Perhaps, as we mentioned yesterday, still got a lot to prove, but nevertheless, the talent is there in abundance,
He's
and he
brilliant.
is a key component of this current Spurs side as they move forward and try and push for that first trophy in what 8, 9, 10 years.
I actually read a brilliant Twitter account that measures the number of days since Tottenham Hotspur have won a title. I believe it's now up to 4,007 on the day of recording.
Jonathan Woodgate there got his statue in front of the new stadium, will he?
Oh, I hope so. So make that go on longer, 5,000, 6,000, 7,000. Keep going, guys. But anyway, that rounds off our 11s for today. I really enjoyed doing that one, looking through the sort of depths of the Premiership foreign player reserves and digging up some players that probably won't get into many more team sheets. I mean, I'm not sure Kizanishvili will be in too many of our videos, but it's nice to give them shout outs and get them mentioned, really. And as I'll say again, happy Chinese New Year, guys. And do comment us suggestions for future episodes. We'll reply to each comment that we get. That's about time for today. But I'm Tom. This has been Josh. And thanks for watching.